Friends, it's that time of day. We're about to record ourselves a heck of a feed up video. And I will say what makes this video a little bit more quite frightening is all of this stuff going on. Texas right now, well, and of course the donkeys being out is going to add to it. I'm going to set my camera up. Y'all enjoy the moment, the chaos. Just enjoy the chaos, y'all. Just enjoy the chaos. I'm just trying to find a place to set my camera up. Annie, you guys are smart for being over there. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually find a way to avoid some chaos. I'm going to take one of these feeders that has been knocked off of the fence and set this up for the donkeys. So you know what we're going to do? Y'all are going to have to bear with me for a minute. Donkeys, y'all are going to follow Daddy. So what I have done is put all of the feed here in the back of the side-by-side. This is for the donkeys here. And I'm going to walk the donkeys around and put them inside the pasture. Come on, babies. Come on. Come on, donkey donks. Come on. Y'all follow Daddy. Come on. Christmas, lead the way, sweetie. Okay, so I called a lot of the babies over on this side. And I dumped out one bucket of feed there along the grass. Now I'm going to walk around back over here where I started and try to get inside this gate to do the ostrich food. And don't forget, I can hang theirs on the fence as well. Sometimes you got to just troubleshoot and never, I'll say this, and you may not understand it, but there's never, one day does not look like the next. You never have days that look like the next. Who's screaming over there? Let me get the ostrich food put out now. I see you over there by yourself, Wanda. I'm going to help you. Just give me a second or so, okay? I'm trying to work systematically. I've got all the donkeys in. This is my ostrich food over here. There we go. Y'all give me a moment to pour this, please. Okay, now that I've got all the animals out, oh, look at this. Oh my God. Oh, that little goat right there messed everything up. I do have one concern. I'm going to show you here as I peer over into this loafing shed over here. Guys, it's feed time. And we have Roxy who is staring at the wall. Everyone knows that's a horrible, horrible sign. A goat has a very, I'm sorry to say this, it's hard to say. Goats have very, they don't have much of a will to live. If a goat ever gets down on you, it's unlikely that goat will ever get up and get going again. So when you see a goat getting down, you have to jump into action. I'll put it here. Here's some on the grass right here. Look, I'm the hay. I don't like feeding the animals in the dirt. I don't mind putting it on hay or in a little bowl. We try to avoid putting goat feed in bowls because goats can pass on parasites to each other, and they do that through bowls. All right, so real fast, before I go check on Roxy, let me just have a little peek over here. We got birds are eating fine. Those guys are all over there eating. Our birds are good. Our goats and our alpaca all eat the same formula, and they're fine. Our pigs also have a formula, which is the same thing we feed our birds. And those pigs will eat that. They're nice and healthy, very healthy. The donkeys have their food, the same thing we give. Everyone's fine. Everyone's fine. Don't make me go by and explain to you about the copper and this and the this and that. And that's very complicated. The stuff you don't want to hear about. You want to hear about Roxy, yes? All right, let's go see what's going on with Roxy. I'll get to water in a few minutes, y'all. But first, we're going to check on Roxy. I'm going to close this gate here so no one else bothers me. And then I'll see what's going on with Roxy. Lord, we've had her for so long. Chip and Roxy, twins. And, sweetie, you okay? Wait. Is this Chip? Chip? What's wrong? This is Chip. Chippy? What's wrong, sir? Are you okay? This is Chip. This is Chip. What happened to Chip? Why is Chip not feeling good? Chip's a very healthy goat. You all can see Chip is very healthy. There's no bloating. You may look at a goat and think that there's bloating, but bloating happens on one side, not both. If you see it on both, then that's just weight. That's good, healthy weight, maybe a little bit overweight. Sir, why are you over here in the corner during feed time? So from just looking at him, I don't see any kind of bites. I don't see any wounds, like a snake bite or anything. I don't see that he has anything physically on the outside that I can detect that's wrong with him, but he's absolutely not feeling well. His hiney is clean, so he doesn't have the scours. So in case you're wondering about some kind of an internal parasite, that's unlikely. Or he would show signs of having the scours, which is, like animal diarrhea. So I'm a little bit concerned here. What I'm going to do, Jamie's not home. What I'm going to do is get some B12. B12 is it's a paste that we put into his mouth, and that will give him kind of a boost. I'm going to also bring his own food and own water over here. So he has water. I'll just empty it out and clean it. But so he can kind of spend some time by himself. But this is troublesome. This is very worrisome. And he's a very healthy goat. He's very healthy. I want to show you the difference in a very healthy goat to one that's not as healthy, okay? So we'll start with, besides the fact that he's staring into the wall, physically you can see that he's a healthy goat. He has nice muscle tone. He's very well developed. You don't see ribs showing. You don't see sunken in parts. The places that you can show to be unhealthy on a goat is, of course, the sunken inside over here and sunken shoulders. He has a very nice tone. He has good muscle structure. His tail's up. His tail's not laying down. Let me go. Ringo, how did you get over here? He just busted right through my gate. I want to walk over and show you real fast. Ringo, leave him alone. Okay, he don't feel good. Don't go over there messing with him, okay? Ringo came right through my gate. I want to show you. Let's go find Sissy. Sissy's a good goat to look at who's not at her top of health. Let me find Sissy for you. There's Roxy. That's who I thought it was. No, Roxy is fine. I feel so bad for Chip. I love him. Let me find Ringo. I can't love right now, sir, and I did not bring any extra special snacks for you, but I do love you. Y'all leave those pigs alone. Pig Trudy's taunting them, y'all. I want to find Sissy. Here we go. Look at Sissy. Now, don't forget, Sissy has had a baby, and that takes a toll. But look here at Sissy. Look at the shoulders. You see that right there? That always worries us with Sissy. And then, of course, the sunken in part over here. You see all the sunken in parts over here. We love Sissy so much. But she hasn't been real healthy in a while, ever since she's given birth. And even though her babies, most of her... Sissy, I don't know what to say about that. Her babies are fine. But then, of course, we have Shirley Bird, who's also not looked good in a while. Shirley Bird walks around with her tail down. We don't like that. We don't like the sunken in spots over here on Shirley. We've done supplements with copper and other things, but we just don't know why Shirley and Sissy are our two goats who we are the most concerned. Oh, look at these goats getting into our bird food. Guys. Oh, Lordy. But no, that's why I've not talked to you all about it, because I don't want to worry you. But here comes Jamie now. I'll be glad to see her. I can ask her to come out and have a look at Chip or Chippy. But all of our goats, and everyone's looking wonderful, except for those two. And then, of course, today, what a shocker to see Chip over in the corner. So that kind of worries me a little bit. But Jamie's coming up the driveway now, and then I'll grab her, and I'll see if she can come out and help me a little bit. And Jamie will be really good with diagnosing things that I can't. She has a woman's eye, and women are really good about noticing things that guys don't always notice. I want to thank y'all for joining me here. Jamie was able to get some B12. Oh no, Carl knocked his sprinklers over. Carl, the sprinkler is no good on the ground, sir. It's a lot of water going to waste. We're going to check on our sweet fella. Let me get this sprinkler stood back up. Listen, that's not a sprinkler. You popped a hole. You popped a hole in the hose. How did you do that, sir, with your talon? You just popped an entire hole in the water hose. How did you do that, Tat? I'm going to guess that you did this by your talon. I'm going to spray you. So Tat just started his own sprinkler system here. Tat just started his own sprinkler. He's like, I'm just so hot, and I'm not getting any relief. Here, sweetie, you want some too? Well, I tell you what, these hoses, y'all, do not buy a fabric hose. I'm sorry, I'm not a spokesperson for or against it. I'm just a normal man who tells you this is not the first time we've walked up and there'd be a hole in our hose. Anyway, this video's not about that. We are trying to walk over and visit with, baby, just settle down for some water. Yeah, it's way too early to be spraying. That's why I was surprised Jamie had already turned the water on. It's way too early to be spraying. That's why I'm like, why has Jamie got the hose on already? I thought he knocked it over. All right, so these guys are fine. I'm gonna turn this water here off. All right, so there is some good news about Chip. Jamie was able to give him the B12 and a dewormer. But guys, I want to tell you something, and this is always hard to talk about. The good news is, see, he's moved around a little bit from yesterday, so he has moved. But right now, coccidia is one of the most harmful parasites that's going around. It's because of the warm days and all of the moisture we've had. It creates a perfect breeding ground for some parasites. Ellie and Megan have dealt with it over at the sanctuary. Brienne has dealt with it. Jake has dealt with it. I don't know if it's affected Uncle Dan or not, or my dad, Pawpaw. But we also had to take a stool sample that I have in my truck now that we'll take over to and drop off. Hey, buddy. You doesn't feel well at all. You don't feel too good at all, do you? Guys, don't be surprised. We could very well lose this fella. He's not feeling well. You okay, Chippy? You know that we love you so much, Chip. And I'm sorry you don't feel good. Still no diarrhea. The difference with a lot of the other goats is that it starts to show itself in like having diarrhea or scours. And he doesn't. But I will say this. If one gets it, then more than likely they're all going to get it. So that means that we're going to have to get us a very heavy dewormer and go ahead and do that to all of our babies. And then whatever else the vet suggests. And it feels like if it's not one thing, it's another, friends. And that's just that's just kind of how life goes. If it's not one thing, it's another. You guys keep all of our babies in your thoughts and prayers. We're going to love on Chip as much as we can and see if we can pull him through this. You see that he's not feeling well. I love the fact that he's removed himself from the loafing shed and he's trying to get out and be a goat. That's a good sign. But the fact that he's laid up over here is just very worrisome to us. Everyone else looks wonderful. I see goats doing what they normally do, laying around in the shade for those that need shade. And we just worry about little Chip. Thank you all for also worrying about him. We will continue to bring you updates on whatever we need to do. And our trip to the vet will be that'll be important. Sir, Now, we don't have to load him up, y'all. You don't have to load him up and go to the vet. That's not going to make a difference. That's only going to put him into more stress. So for those who are going to scream and holler, because there's always your screamers. If you're a screamer and a holler, and you're screaming to load him up, take him to the vet, well, you just don't know much about farm life, y'all. And now I don't blame you for that. But we will take that stool sample, and if you create more stress with an animal who's already in distress, then you will be the cause of their demise. You will be the one to put them under. So, and then whatever the vet finds out, they'll find out soon, and they'll send us with whatever meds they need to for all of our babies. I'm sorry y'all had to see little Chippy, and I would hope that you'll keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and just know that we're going to love him. We've always loved him.